Hey there, horror movie tea sippers.
The following podcast episode will contain spoilers for the movie we are about to review. If you have not seen the movie and do not wish to have anything ruined prematurely, please do not continue to watch or listen until you have seen the movie.
And welcome to the Horror Movie Tea Podcast. Today, we are covering The Phantom of the Opera. The Robert Englund one that came out in 1989.
Yeah, we have to specify.
Yeah, not the musical. Not the musical. I don't know.
I would not consider this a musical.
Well, no.
Not by any stretch.
No, what I was trying to ask is if we would consider the musical potentially horror. But I don't think so.
Has
that one's a little
elements, but I don't know if I would consider it a true horror movie.
Yeah, that one's a little bit too out there.
Mm-hmm.
This one, though,
more of an odd love story kind of thing.
I mean, this one technically is too. But it's, well, okay, we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
All right. But before we go into the review...
Jumping right into it, guys.
Before we get into the review, let's grab our cups and talk about tea. So today, I am drinking the Republic of Tea hot apple cider tea.
Ooh.
I know. It's like I had rediscovered it because I reorganized my tea and I'm like, oh, I forgot about this one. And it's like, I don't even remember if I like it or not. But it's got apple pieces, cinnamon, orange peel, rose hips, berry leaves, ginger root, cloves, citric acid, and cardamom seeds.
And I really should go tea shopping. I'm still drinking Twinings pure peppermint tea, and it's got wintergreen mint in it. So,
ma'am.
I mean, if you don't know, it's pure peppermint. That is the name of the thing. So if you don't know that it has just peppermint in it, that's on you. Like they aren't kidding. It's just peppermint.
But for our tea sippers out there, brew yourself a cup of tea, sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy the review. So for the summary, it's Phantom of the Opera. You've got Eric, the Phantom, and he's living in the opera, down in the sewers and all grody and gross. And then you got Christine over here wanting to,
be the star.
Yes, and he finds her, vulnerability and manipulates her, and yeah, we know what Phantom of the Opera is, I think. But
this is a weird, FREDDY edition of Phantom of the Opera, though, I feel like.
Yeah, so funny story. Funny story. There's a little bit of background or lore of this in my life, in our lives. So I was originally introduced to this movie. I mean, oh man, this ages me. But back when Blockbuster was a thing, the Phantom of the Opera movie was literally about to be released in theaters. And so, my mom and I were like, oh, we want to see if there's anything Phantom of the Opera related at Blockbuster. And we saw this movie and I was
wondering how you found it.
And we grabbed it not knowing it was what it was. And let me tell you, the utter shock and horror. Because it's like my mom also isn't like a huge gory fan either, and so we're just like as he's like tearing his face apart, we're all like but I watched this movie literally right before I saw the musical version in theaters whenever it first came out.
Totally
the Gerard
different
Butler
vibe, huh?
Yeah. Well, and then it's funny because my one of my friends, closest friends at the time, she was going to go to the Phantom of the Opera and see it with us. And so like I was watching this movie with her and I'm like, I promise it's not like this. But anyways, well, and then like step two, oh man, it was like maybe a few months ago or something. V at some point had like mentioned this version of Phantom of the Opera. I'm like, oh yeah,
I'm
like
not surprised.
yeah.
Why am I not surprised?
So anyways, so for entertainment, yeah, this one is definitely a lot more horror. Um, well, okay, I'll go ahead and give my rating and then walk through my thoughts. So for entertainment, I give it a 7. I don't know how to feel about the back in time and back to forward in time because like initially they kind of make it seem like, you know, she got knocked out and she's having like, you know, this,
Like a flashback kind of thing.
oh, not even a flashback, more like a dream while she's like knocked out. Like it's not actually happening. But then she, you know, wakes back up and then the phantom had like followed her. And so it's just kind of, so it's like, you know, was she reincarnated? Like how the heck?
Yeah, see, I viewed it more as she was viewing her past life.
Okay. But then like the phantom himself, it didn't seem like he was the reincarnation. It seemed like he was, yeah. So I don't know. It's like
They said that he traded his soul in
right.
so that his music would live forever, but he is his music. Like his music comes from him.
Yeah. Either way, the whole like switchback thing, I don't think it really added that much to the movie, and it honestly made it
Really?
more confusing.
A little bit.
Like I only remembered him like ripping off his face. So aside from that, like everything else I had not remembered. So it's like initially when it started, I'm like, oh, is this like a modern day Phantom of the Opera? I'm like, oh, that would have been
that at first.
yeah, I'm like that would have been really cool. And then they like went back. Yeah. But anyway, so that I wasn't a huge fan of. But aside from that, I mean, the horror elements are definitely there. Like, it's not as gory as I remember it being, but it's definitely, it's like Saw par. I mean, Saw is worse, but I mean, it's still like, it is grotesque and it is like, this, yes. I feel like they did a really good job on playing up the obsession that the phantom has, and they did a really good job on, I mean, like for some reason, well, I mean, not some reason, but it's like I feel like they did a really good job adding scenes to just up how disturbing it is. Like whenever he hired the night worker and it was like, your name is Christine tonight, it's like, okay. Like, oh dear. Yeah, so
which I'm sure it's probably not the first time she's heard something like that though.
Oh, probably not, but
and she lived.
Yes, she did. But it's like, yeah, this phantom definitely feels really dangerous. He definitely is not pleasant to look at. He definitely is very manipulative.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the person that they had singing Christine's parts definitely like fit that role. You know, it's a little bit different than, you know, what we hear from the musical version, but I feel like it's maybe a little bit more like true to that era as far as like the
Yeah.
type of singing that would be there.
I agree. It felt a bit more operatic than the actual musical.
Yeah. Um, and yeah, I mean, Robert Englund did an excellent job in the role. It's just the movie itself is just, it's a little uncomfy. And so that's why it's a 7 for me, because I probably don't need to go out of my way again to watch this movie. Once is enough. I find it really interesting that because the Phantom of the Opera musical was getting really popular around that time, and so it is interesting that they decided to do a horror version of it. But I almost kind of like, I understand they're trying to like profit off of the musical, but I honestly kind of would have really liked them to lean more on the book, because it would have been really cool for them to do more of like the traps and things like that.
Yeah, I was kind of missing that in this one too.
Yeah.
They did a great job of that in the musical, but in this one it just there weren't really any traps.
Yeah. Like to me, it felt like a very obvious copy and paste of the musical, just turned
He was
horror.
a serial killer. It was just,
Yeah.
and that was it. Like,
Yeah.
just a very, very gory, really gory serial killer.
And
So,
and I feel like the music, the Don Juan,
triumphant.
the one that they came up with, I feel like really fit this particular Phantom too, where
Yeah.
it was like hauntingly beautiful, but also like was tragic, but it also was like almost sinister
Yeah.
sounding
It
too.
felt short though.
Yeah, like it
I kept
wasn't.
wanting more of the song. And
Yeah.
they kept alluding to, well, it's not finished. And he's going to finish it. And then we never hear anything after that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's like I have seen forever ago, but I did see I think it was the original Phantom of the Opera movie where it was a silent film.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I did watch that one. And I will say, like, I feel like this Phantom of the Opera, as far as like, if you want a Phantom of the Opera movie that's more horror, this one definitely probably takes the cake compared to the silent film one. It's like you do definitely feel the danger there. And especially whenever she is captured, like, I honestly wasn't sure if she's going to make it out alive or not. Because it's like, yeah, I knew that he was obsessed with her, but it's like sometimes those obsessions can, be turned to where they want to harm the person that they're obsessed with.
If
So,
I can't have you, no one can, kind of thing.
yes. Yeah. Which, I mean, he
It's
did
a
do that too.
possessive thing. Yeah. Mhm.
But, anyways, I feel like, I feel like this movie is a decent movie. It's not, like I said, I don't need to go back and watch it, but it is a good movie. And, if I would say that if this movie somewhat piques your interest, it is worth a watch.
It is.
So, yeah, it's just one of those weird, like, niche movies where it's like, I feel like you don't really hear a whole lot about it.
You don't.
And you're like, oh, this is a thing? And then you watch it and you're like, this is a thing. This is a thing.
So, this was a first watch for me. I
And I
had
tried-
never heard of this version.
I tried so hard not to say diddly squat about it to you.
And then Alyssa was like, hey, so we're recording next. What about this movie? And I was like, that's a thing.
And you're like,
Looked
oh.
it up, saw the poster, and it looked basically like Phantom of the Opera Freddy edition. And I was like, sold, let's go. And it really does feel like a Freddy prequel. I'm not gonna lie. It really does. He is almost the exact same character in this movie. And he's great. Robert Englund is great.
Yes.
I feel like the writing wasn't quite up to snuff in
Yeah.
this
I
movie,
agree. Yeah.
but he did the best he could with what he had.
Mm-hmm.
And he did well. Like you said, the skin and sewing it on and all that, it's very uncomfy. And his obsessive possessiveness towards Christine, very uncomfy as well. Well done. He played that part very well.
Mm-hmm.
It was oogie, and it was supposed to be oogie, and he did a good job of that. That being said, I feel like there's probably a reason why I had never heard of this movie. And it is ultimately, in my opinion, skippable. Like, if it's worth a watch, but it's not like you need to watch it at least once kind of movie. So for me, overall, it's a 6. Like, I'm not mad I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
I just probably won't watch it again.
Yeah.
It's as cheesy as the musical one was, I adore that movie. So, and the music that went with it. This one, like I said before, the song that they gave you in the movie, it's very short. And I wanted to hear more of it. I wanted them to I feel like it could have even progressed throughout the movie
Mm. Yeah.
because he took her down there at one point to work on it.
Yeah.
Like, just work on it a little bit at a time, just throw it in here and there. And then, like, at the end, we have a longer version of it, and she's
Mm-hmm.
hearing the longer version of it in his apartment.
Yeah.
And
I
that would
like
be
that.
even creepier. Like, he's continued as
Yeah.
he's watched her, and maybe have like photos of her going about
Oh.
her daily life, like the stalker that he is, because you know he is.
Oh yeah, that would have been right on par with
He's made that
him.
very
Yeah.
clear. So I feel like that would have been a really big reveal and made it more impactful and would have made a bit more sense. But instead, we get the same few bars
Yeah.
throughout the entire movie, and it never changes. And I'm like, what? You could have done this and elevated it.
Yeah. I agree.
Instead, they focused a bit too much because he sold his soul for his music and for people to hear his music. And then they made the other 90% of the movie him wanting to get in her pants.
Hmm.
So tell me I'm lying.
Nope. Nope.
So I feel like you could have expanded on that, like toned down just a little bit his obsessively stalking her and killing everyone that badmouthed her, and turn up the passion of his music just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of that gets lost. It was originally supposed to be for that. And he references it to her a few times. Like, there's only 2 things that last in this world: music and love. And that's it. So you kind of lose the music. And it's just about his obsession that he thinks is love.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not love. That's lust. There's a difference. But regardless, it's not as impactful of a message as it could have been. So I wish we saw more or heard more of the music and heard it progress specifically. The gore mostly made sense considering his MO and everything. I also wish that we saw a bit more, not that I would have liked to see it, but it would have made more sense to see like a stockpile of the skin that he was taking, because he would skin his victims and he would use the skin. Like, that was kind of the point of skinning them, is to use it. So he would have had it somewhere. And we never see anything but a few pieces here and there. So it just seemed a little odd. The other characters, the side characters and all, they're kind of flat. And we honestly don't see many of them that often, so I
Oh,
get it.
like
There's just
especially
not-
Richard.
Yeah, there's not much depth
Yeah.
or character building to any of them, really.
I mean, even
Even Christine.
Christine. Yeah.
Yeah. Even Christine. I mean, most of the depth comes from Robert Englund's character.
Yeah.
And there's not, again, much character building. It's just we get to see a new level of psycho. Great.
Yes.
Oh, he's gone to that level. Okay. Gotcha. Oh, goody. He's immortal too. Because why not?
He's
Why
a
not?
problem.
Because apparently Lucifer doesn't want to collect on the soul that he bargained for. He's like, nah, it's cool. You can just stay up there and, stalk the same person. I guess he's like killing other people, but like those souls don't necessarily go downstairs. So, what you doing, Lucifer? So the immortality thing was kind of odd. I feel like it would have made a bit more sense if it was like a past life thing, instead of he's legit immortal and he's just been, living, waiting for her to come back around.
Yeah.
And that would have made it honestly even more creepy if they did it like I said, and they built on the song, and he had the photos in that room while he's working on that song.
Ooh, especially if
just
it was
her
like her.
life.
Yes, and with her family
Just
and
like the stalking kind of photos of, here's her in a coffee shop, and here's her laughing with her friends from afar, and here's her walking through the park, and here's her, like, a shot from outside her window in her home.
I know.
Like, almost like, and they're getting like closer as they're panning through the different pictures.
I like that idea.
As the song progresses, I feel like that would have been a hell of a lot more impactful.
Yeah.
And like have maybe like a flashback from him maybe later when he's talking about waiting for her and looking out for her and that kind of thing, where like he found a way to slip in the audition information to her through like an acquaintance or something. Like just made sure somehow she got that audition information to make sure that she would go for it. And then just so happened to know her friend likes to go to this specific music place to look for different sheet music and everything, and happened to slip in part of that song where the friend would find it, ensuring that she would sing that particular song. So like all these things leading up to that thing, it would have been part of his obsession. I feel like that would have been way better than just, he's immortal and has just been twiddling his thumbs waiting for her to come around again.
Yeah. Well, he definitely would have had time to finish the song.
Yeah. Yeah. You had a couple 100 years, dude.
Yeah.
So, it's been a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
So, it felt a little short. I know for the time period that was about normal movie length, but I just feel like the story itself seemed kind of rushed because it all seems to happen in the span of like a couple of days.
Well, and if
Keep
they
track
wouldn't
in
have
time.
done the future going back thing, they would have had a little bit more
Yeah.
time.
Well, even if they kept that in and just like lengthened it a little bit, cut some parts of the like obsessiveness out that didn't even really add anything to it, and maybe a couple of the kills that also didn't really add to it. It was more gore for the sake of gore kind of thing. Like the guys that hassled him at the
Yeah.
restaurant, the tavern.
Yeah, that's kind of
Like,
pointless.
and we already know he's ridiculous with his kills. Like these are kind of unnecessary. And also well, never mind. We'll get into that in the realism. But we'll get into a lot of stuff in the realism. But overall, it seemed rushed, a little gory for the sake of gore, and I feel like that also contributed to the Freddy the prequel kind of feeling.
Well, and the fact that there's fire at the end.
There was fire, and he looks almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
Did they have the same makeup artist?
I don't know. I honestly don't have a whole lot of
I
history
don't
or background
know.
on this
I don't
movie.
know. I meant to look it up and didn't have time or the spoons to look it up.
Totally fair.
So, but it looked so similar. So similar to when he's in his Freddy getup that I'm like, there he is. There he is. Any minute now, he's gonna pull out that knife hand. But yeah, honestly, ultimately skippable, but it's worth a watch if you're down to watch something a little odd. But definitely Robert Englund and 80s horror for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's his niche. Oh, so for realism. Realism is a little difficult because like the whole like maybe it was a concussion dream to oh he followed her through the ages, which I know the whole sold soul to Satan thing. um I feel like I don't know. Well, first, can we just say that the fighting was so hilarious and
Yes.
so obviously
Every
staged.
time.
Like
Every
it was
time. It's
slow
not
and there
even
were
one specific
pauses.
fight. It is every fight.
Very, very choreographed, which, obviously, fights are, but it's like,
Well, yeah, but
it was
it's
just
like
like super,
obvious. They
it was almost on par of Power Rangers as far as like being a staged fight. That's what, or a Jackie Chan movie or something where,
I wouldn't say that. I would say Power Rangers for sure.
yeah.
But it you can have, obviously they do choreographed fights and everything for movies, but like I feel like they didn't have time to practice enough or just didn't bother to practice with each other enough. Because I feel like if they had done it a bit more often, then it would have flowed a little better. You know?
Maybe. I
It
feel
wouldn't seem
like,
quite so rehearsed or like, I don't know, disjointed, I
well,
guess.
I feel like at least it seems like in more and more modern movies, well, I don't know. Never mind. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, so like realism is difficult for me because on the one hand, there's some things are like very unrealistic, but overall, it's not like it could be worse. But anyway, so I give it a 2. you know, I, on the realistic part, they had the skin he's using be different tones, which definitely like does help if you're sewing skin to your face, which good for you, I guess. And
Not recommended, unhygienic, 0 out of 10.
yeah, please don't harm people to try and make yourself look more beautiful. That there's other methods and ways to do that are available to us in our modern era. But
Well, and they showed that he did have something different in the modern time.
yes, I mean he wouldn't have gotten very far otherwise. But that was interesting though that they showed that.
Yes.
The kills, it's like some of the kills aren't too bad,
Almost
but
every single one I knocked.
but like I feel like Carlotta was a bit extreme. Like I don't know, like
Bit.
well, okay.
It was extreme, extreme. Like, ma'am.
And it was fast too. Like how did
Yes.
he like get her all the way there in that amount of time?
With
Yeah.
no one seeing.
Yeah. And then can we just talk about the fact that he used an itty bitty knife to cut off someone's head? Like,
Yeah, a couple of times.
yeah, I mean, it just force can only do so much. At least human force.
Yeah.
I feel like yeah.
And I guess you could attribute some of it to like selling your soul kind of thing. You get some extra powers, I guess.
Yeah, he definitely seemed like stronger than the average person, but not by a crazy amount, but by
Yeah.
like a pretty
I mean, he can lift a grown man with one hand,
yeah.
but still, like,
I will be honest, I was a little gruesome and I cackled a little bit whenever they're in the alley and the head went in between the guy's legs because it made me think of bowling and I'm like, score! Like he caught it in. Yeah, goal. But aside from that,
when
yeah.
he beheaded that one guy in that fight, I was cackling just because I'm like, that is not how that do. Absolutely not. With that little blade, nah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was such a purely Freddy moment too.
And then the one guy where I think it was his heart that he took out.
Yes. Yes.
That was also, of course, ridiculous.
Yes.
Just so many ridiculous moments. And then the guy in the sewer, the rat guy that
Yep.
got pinned against the wall, and then they go and pass by him like not that much longer after, and his face is already gone. Well, I guess
So I attributed that to the mass amount of rats.
there were a lot
There were a lot
of rats. But I'm like, how quickly did they let him get?
So many rats.
It's like he's still warm, and they just started going after him.
And they're rats.
Well, I don't know, dude.
And they're gonna take fresh meat over rotting sewer garbage any day of the week.
I mean, fair, but ew.
Well, admittedly gross, but that was honestly like one of the more realistic kills in the entire movie.
Also, can we just talk about how ironic it is where this man likes the dark, so that way his face can't be seen, but he has an ungodly amount of candles
The fire hazard
in his
about the-
lair. Like, I can understand
Oh my god.
candles for music, but aside from that, why would he need that many candles?
So at first, when they were talking about in that scene about his salary that they were
Uh-huh.
setting aside for him, the 300 pounds or whatever a month for the opera ghost, I'm sitting here like, well, that's where it's all going. He's spending it on candles everywhere. How long does it take him to replace all the freaking candles
It's like
and
250
light
pounds a
them?
month on candles.
Seriously, that's where the vast majority of it's going, right there.
I'm curious now, like how much 250 pounds is, and what was in the 1800s?
I think it was in the 1800s.
50 pounds in 1800s to today's US dollar. I'm curious.
It's some ungodly amount, I'm sure.
It almost $50,000 a month. No wonder in the musical they're saying how insane that amount was. And they're like, we're not paying that. And then, someone, got hurt or
In the
whatever. And they're like,
musical, I
okay,
think
we're.
they said it's like 50 francs or something like that a month.
Yeah, I guess they
Like, it was a
did.
different amount, but they
Yeah,
were freaking out over the amount.
yeah, now that I think about it, this Phantom of the Opera, was it in France or was it in.
No, they said it was in London.
So they changed the location too.
Yes.
Okay. I'm wondering if it was maybe due to copyright, because I'm also assuming that that's why they changed Rule's name to Richard, which, ew, like, choose a better name. But okay.
No offense meant to any Richards out there.
Yeah. Yeah, just like, you have like Christine, which is still, I don't know, it's a pretty name. It's like Christine and Raoul, but then Christine and Richard. Or Rick. Anyway. It just doesn't have the same ring.
Dude, we saw him so little in the movie.
Oh yeah,
that
he didn't
I
even need to be in
forgot
there.
who he was at one point.
Yeah, he did
He
diddly
went
squat.
after her. I was like, who is he again? Oh, right. Right. They were sort of together.
Well, and then since he had the whole like group go down with him, there's no reason why he need to be there too. Like,
Whole group, she says there were 3 other guys.
well, I'm just saying, compared to
It was a whole huge group that he took down there with
compared to the musical, where I mean, Madame Giry like goes down to a certain extent, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm not going to go any further," and so he goes down the rest of the way. By yeah.
She's like, he's that away. Good luck.
Yeah.
And it was Meg in the musical, or the friend. I don't think her name was Meg in the musical.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Mhm.
Well, anyway, yeah, her. It was her that was leading the giant mob of people at the very end
Yes.
to rescue Christine. So this Meg did absolutely nothing.
Oh no, she was just like, oh, the musical in the book, that's her.
Yeah.
She's there.
She's a nod. Oh yeah, that's Christine's best friend. And they've been friends for a good while. She handed a note to Richard, and that's about it. She let her know that the critic was dead because of what he said. But that's about it.
Yeah, so.
That's about it.
Yep. Well, got anything else for realism? I forgot. What did you?
I didn't give my rating yet.
Yeah, that's
You're
what I was
still going through yours.
Yeah, but I'm done. I can harp on and on, but I'll give you something to talk about.
Gee, thanks.
You're welcome.
I gave it a 1.5.
Okay, we were pretty close.
We were pretty close. The whole immortal thing, I was like, that doesn't quite make sense, because again, they would want to collect on the soul that they bargained for instead of just giving him these ridiculous powers that they were non-specific about, by the way. Um The whole back in time thing was a little iffy and didn't really add much to it, like you said. They could have started off in that time period and then jumped ahead to, like, so take the beginning part, send it toward the end after that time period,
Mm-hmm.
the earlier time period, and then have all of that period in the modern time all together.
Mm.
And just be like, this is her reincarnated. And look, this guy was also reincarnated and is still obsessed with her. Like it's a vicious cycle every time they're reincarnated, kind of thing. But this is the route they went with. So this is the route we rate. And it's just every single one of the deaths is just so stupid and over the top and ridiculous. And especially, oh my god, especially the scene change guy,
Yeah.
like his first kill that they show.
Yeah.
That I thought at first, because it was so ridiculous the way he popped his head up and opened his eyes and all, I thought that they were bringing in his trap stuff into that scene, and that it was a trap meant to scare Carlotta either to death or just make her so distraught she couldn't sing, which it ended up being that way. But then it turns out the guy was alive for a little bit longer, which with that much skin off of him, no. That's not how that works. He would have died long before.
I don't know what
Long before that amount of skin was taken.
is that because of blood loss?
Primarily, yes.
Okay.
But also due to shock and other factors.
Yes, sir.
So, no. He would have died long before that. And even then, like when he was hanging upside down in the rigging, they showed Robert Englund like basically gutting him like a fish. So, no.
Yeah.
No. I counted off heavily for that because one, I was disappointed that it wasn't just some elaborate trap that he set up with like a bunch of different pulleys and things. And two, that's not how any of that would work. Then I counted off for the deaths of the guys from the tavern because later on, the inspector guy was showing Richard all of these photos and saying he's killing in Christine's name. But those guys from the tavern had absolutely nothing to do with Christine.
I know. I mean, they did mess with him, but it's like there's no point.
So?
Yeah.
That doesn't tie them at all to Christine.
Well,
And
no.
that's what the inspector was basing everything off of.
Yes. Yes.
No, you can tell by the MO it's the same guy. But don't predicate your whole theory on he's doing this because he's obsessed with your girlfriend. Like, those three alone would have proved that he wasn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's just a violent individual.
Yes.
He's angry.
So, and very methodical and all. And again, he killed those three guys very quickly, but then having to skin them would have taken a significant amount of time, regardless of how practiced he is at it. And nobody heard or saw a thing until after all was said and done and he was gone.
Yeah.
No. The graveyard scene, they could have cut out altogether. It had zero bearing on the story at all.
Yeah. But I will say that I like how they did the phantom in the background with the fog. Yeah. Like, it definitely seemed more angelic-like than I think with the,
and especially with the hauntingly beautiful violin and all.
Yeah.
I get that. And it was a beautiful scene for part of it, at least. And then he uses the violin to incapacitate Richard and make him bleed from his eyes.
Yeah, that was a choice.
No. No. Again, what are his powers? They were completely undefined. And kind of stupid. The fire hazard amount of candles everywhere. Even the skin, I feel like, would have been turning more gray on him. And they did show at times it like kind of rotting a little bit on him
Mm-hmm.
and wasn't looking super great. But I still feel like there would have been more of a change. Like that kind of skin taken from someone's probably not gonna last a whole long time, since it's not being supplied with, all the nutrients and blood and moisture and everything that it should be, because that is dead skin at that point. That's no bueno. So I counted off a little bit for that. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. It was more of an aesthetic thing. Otherwise, their practical effects were really good. But they usually do a fairly decent job in these kind of movies for that time period, considering what all they have. Honestly, it's not that bad. It didn't even like the ear that he took off looked a little latexy, but not by much. So they did a good job on it. It's just little nitpicky things for that. But the the raging that I was doing with when Christine is fighting back against the Phantom at the end.
Oh, and then whenever he like shoves her and she goes way over, and then she's like, oh, and then
Well, that kind of bothered me a little bit. I'm talking more in the modern time when she's fighting him.
mm.
And she, one, tears off his face, and his teeth, which were perfectly white and everything beforehand, are now like this murky greenish black, like the rest of his face, and gross looking right after. No, why? Because she ripped off his face? So
Yeah. It's like, were there dentures attached to the skin or something?
I guess, I don't know, it just,
Veneers?
did he get the ooze in his mouth? Like, they didn't show it.
Yeah.
So it just seemed just for the aesthetic, I guess. But I
Yeah.
feel like it still would have been just as impactful if his teeth were white like they were before, and even more like starkly contrasted with the darkness of his face.
Yeah.
But it was a choice.
But I do, appreciate, of course, like in the 80s, they didn't necessarily have as many visual effects, but they did have some.
Yeah.
But I will say I did really appreciate all of the practical effects because they
Yes,
did look
I did appreciate that.
good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was also raging, and this is again just kind of a nitpicky thing, but she left the murder weapon, quote unquote, in him with her fingerprints on it. I'm sitting here like, okay, one, your fingerprints are all over that place, but you can say like he tried to assault me and I ran out. I don't know what happened to him after that point. But the fact that she like stabbed him, she went jab jab and then left him for dead and thought he was dead officially at that point. We'd find out later that he wasn't. But then she also had taken some things from the apartment and then basically was like getting rid of the evidence, like destroying his music because that's what she had heard would officially off him. But then she didn't like call PD or anything to say,
Mm-hmm.
he assaulted me. I fought back. I stabbed him. I don't know if he's dead or not. He's looking kind of gross, by the way. Something's definitely off with him. Can you go and I'll answer any questions you got. But none of that. So she's just living her life on the assumption that she just murdered someone
Yeah.
and that there are going to be no repercussions. Forensics are a thing, at least in this era. So the amount of rage I had towards that scene, I'm like, I'm sure a lot of people listening to this are like, oh, psychopath. Like, this is what you think of is how to deal with the crime scene after and what to do. No, like, I'm just concerned because now, as far as she's aware, she's just offed someone with basically a I only have my word to go on kind of situation. There were no witnesses to say, no, he really did attack her. There's not really much of like in the apartment itself, not really much of scene of a struggle. So to all appearances, anyone walking in, if he really was dead, was a dude with his face ripped off, stabbed in the side, and nothing else. Like, her fingerprints are everywhere and on the murder weapon. Like, for the police, this would kind of be a slam dunk. So it's honestly kind of lucky for her that he is immortal and stalking her. So that she doesn't have to deal with a murder trial and death penalty and or life imprisonment or anything like that. It's just very, very unrealistic is what I'm getting at. That's what I got.
Yep. Well, thank you for joining us today. And let us know what you thought of the movie. It's like I really haven't heard too many other people say their actual opinion about the movie. I've just heard people be like, oh yeah, this movie exists. So I would be interested to hear everyone else's opinion on this one. And if you'd like to recommend a movie, game, or tea, you can leave us a comment or join our Discord server. And if you'd like to keep up to date with our content, you can find our link tree listed below.
And if you'd like to support the podcast, please subscribe, like, and share our content. We also have a Teespring and a PayPal donate button if you'd like to support us monetarily. You can find all of those sites mentioned linked below. But until the next time, guys, stay safe and stay spoopy.
Bye.